Thought this was a great opportunity to actually talk through what I do in a week. So I use an application called Training Peaks. It's what we use with all of our athletes that train with us through Mountain Bike Coaching Australia. It's a really good tool, not only for keeping track of your data, but setting out your week and seeing where you're at. Works as an app on your phone, which is super cool. You can upload your workouts and you can say how you felt, so you're rating a perceived exertion, any sort of notes. It's really cool for feedback between the coach and the athlete. In the way I structure my week, the first thing that I'll put in there are my movement prep, strength and conditioning exercise days. So Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, they're locked in. It's done in the morning. Do it in the morning because for me, it's no longer an excuse to talk myself out of it. I can be out in the trail for hours at a time on a day, and getting back into the gym at 5 o'clock in the afternoon is the last thing I feel like doing. If I get up early in the morning and get it done, awesome. I know it's done. That doesn't always work for everyone, but yeah, I don't mind getting up early in the morning and getting that done. So Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, I'll lock those in. Do a lot of time out on the trails as I'm coaching, but they're not great structured workouts. I can be riding heaps, I could be standing on the side of the trail, working through video analysis with an athlete. So it's never targeting a specific energy system. I use an indoor trainer and also ride outdoors. I use an indoor trainer for these super structured sessions that I really want to focus on getting something done. These aerobic intervals are one of my only interval sessions that I do throughout the week. Most of my training is done in that zone 2, that long, slow distance work. But I do these aerobic intervals. They're at my lactate threshold. I do 3 lots of 8 of these, for instance, for this week. And that's where I just ride at a constant power. It's usually around my functional threshold power, which I've measured previously in testing. And yeah, I just work through those. Keep a constant power for each of those intervals and you find your heart rate increases throughout and up to your lactate threshold into that last one. It's not a super hard interval session, but it's hard enough. On the Tuesdays, I do a little bit of an endurance-based work after my movement prep and strength and conditioning. That's just an hour on the indoor trainer, sitting in zone 2. Listen to a podcast, get some work done while I'm working out. So it's cool, it hurts a little bit after strength and conditioning, but it's a really good way for me to get something done throughout that day that's sort of structured. I get onto my Wednesdays. This is where we lead a gravel ride in the mornings. It's a really cool ride because it's aimed at being around that zone 2 aerobic base sort of pace. It's a little bit different for everyone, I guess, because your heart rate, how much power you can put out in that zone 2 is different for all of us. But yeah, it is a nice leisurely ride and it's a chance for me to get 2.5 hours in that zone 2. Super solid session for me. On Thursdays, again, I've got my movement prep. Fridays, normally a rest day, get some work done, because Saturday is going to be a big zone 2 endurance ride. This is outdoors, so concentrating on keeping my heart rate in that zone 2. I use these, I love these rides. They're a great chance to get out and explore and yeah, just have a good time and not kill myself. But it actually is doing some super great work in terms of building my aerobic energy system. And I've also got my strength and conditioning work on the Saturday morning. Sundays is pretty much like an unstructured interval session because it's a fun ride. I normally go mountain biking. Mountain biking is never an easy ride for anyone that's out there doing it, because every time you go downhill, you're working hard, your heart rate never drops. It's cool to hang out and try and have fun with your mates and race your mates around a little bit. So that's an unstructured interval ride for me. So that's basically how my week looks. It's around about 10 to 14 hours of structured work each week, which is a lot. Not everyone can commit to that, and then I'll have additional time on the trail. But that's just to give you an idea of what my plan is in this, especially in this base period, as I'm working towards preparing myself for the Hump 1000.